सुशीतल
निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतल
निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतल निताय पद कमला कोटि चंद्र सुशीतल जे छायाय जगत जुड़ा जे छायाय जगत जुड़ा एनो निताय बीने भाई राधा कृष्ण पाइते नाय
एनो निताय बीने भाई राधा कृष्ण पाइते नाय
गढ़ कोरी धरो नितायर पार
दृढ़ कोरी धारो निताय प्राण
दृढ़ कोरी धरो नितायर पार
दृढ़ कोरी धारो निताय प्राण
शेष बंदे नहीं जा वृथा जन्म केलोता से पशु बड़ो दुराचार से
पशु बड़ो दुराचार
निताय ना बोलिलो मुखे माझिलो संसार सुखे
निताय ना बोलिलो मुखे माझिलो संसार सुखे
विद्या कुले की कोरी बोता
विद्या कुले की कोरी बेता
अहंकारे मत होया निताय पद पासरिया
अहंकार मत होया निताय पद पाशरिया
अहंकारे मत होया निताय पद पासरिया
अहंकार मत होया निताय पद पाशरिया
असत्य रे सत्य कोई मानी
असत्य सत्य कोरी मनी
असत्य रे सत्य कोरी मानी
असत्य सत्य कोरी मनी
नितायर करुणा हवे ब्रज राधा कृष्ण पावे
निताय पद करुणा हवे ब्रज राधा कृष्ण पावे
धरो निताय चरण दुखानी धरो
निताय चरण दुखानी
धरो निताय चरण दुखानी
निताय चरण
नितायर चरण सत्य ताहार सेवक नित्य
निताय चरण सत्य ताहार सेवक नित्य
निताय पद सदा करो आस
पद सदा करो
नरोत्तम बड़ो दुखी निताय मोरे करो सुखी
नरोत्तम बोरो दुखी निताय मोरो करो सुखी
राखो रंगा चरणेर पास राखो रंगा चरणेर राखो रंगा चरणेर पास
राखो रंगा चरणेर पास
निताय पद कमल कोटि चंद्र सुशीतल
पद कमल कोटि चंद्र सुशीतल
जे छायाय जगत जुड़ा
जे छायाय जगत जुड़ा
नित्यानंद राम की नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर आविर्भाव दिन महामहोत्सव की जय. So we had, coincidentally we sing the same version on the appearance of Lord Nityananda. When I was singing this version in the car, I was told that this the same version was sang on the day of Narottam Das Thakur by His Grace Ram Prabhu. Then I said that great minds things alike. What's the big deal? What's the big deal, right? So I took the opportunity to be in the same line. So thank you. So now our today's verse. Today we are on the chapter 9, verse number 2. So we're gonna sing the verse. The chapter 9, its title is the most confidential knowledge. Right? So what is the most confidential? Right? We're going to find it out. And of course, as always, you guys will tell me. Right? So, let's go to the verse. Because Krishna has titled this chapter as most confidential knowledge. But there is another chapter in the Bhagavad Gita which is more or less like same. Who would tell me that? And then why did Krishna title this chapter as the most confidential knowledge? There is another chapter has the same. It goes with the same flow. Right? Yes. Very nice, right? 7th chapter also has a Krishna said that, okay, asansayam samagram mam yathagna shasitarshun. And here also says, okay, tarshun. Then he starts telling about his opulences and about his. But in this chapter, Krishna tells something so amazing that he hasn't told before. So we'll discuss that now, right? So let's read the verse. It is a long purport. So what I would do with every quality Srila Prabhupada has described, we'll go and discuss about that. Rajavidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam. Okay, devotees wants to chant. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam. Okay, anybody else? Mataji's? Rajavidya Rajaguhyam पवित्रमिदमुत्तमम् प्रत्यक्षावगमधर्म्यम् सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्
Rajavidya,
Rajavidya,
the king of education.
the king of education.
Rajaguhyam,
Rajaguhyam,
the king of confidential knowledge.
the king of confidential knowledge. Pavitram,
The purest.
the purest.
Idam this.
Idam,
Uttamam.
Uttamam,
Transcendental.
transcendental.
Pratyaksha.
Pratyaksha,
By direct experience.
by direct experience.
Avagamam. Understood.
Understood.
Dharmyam. The
Dharmyam,
principles of religion.
the principle of religion.
Susukham.
Susukham,
Very happy.
very happy.
Kartum.
Kartum,
To execute.
execute.
Avyayam.
Avyayam,
Everlasting.
everlasting.
Translation, purport by His Divine Grace, our eternal Vedanta, Swami Sri Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. It is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. Purport. This chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called the King of Education because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophies explained before. Among the principal philosophers in India are Gautama, Kanada, Kapila, Yajnavalkya, Chandelian, and Vaishwana. And you guys will tell me one after the other what are their philosophies. Right? I mean, it was by the grace of Srila Prabhupada we even talk about these people. But you know, Srila Prabhupada taught us something much beyond than all these great sages can explain. You know? And finally, there is Vyasadeva, the author of the Vedanta Sutra. Yes, I know, I'm sure all of you can speak for the eternity what Srila Vyasadeva taught, right? So that is what is enough. So there is no dearth of knowledge in the field of philosophy or transcendental knowledge. Now the Lord says that this 9th chapter is the king of all such knowledge, the essence of all knowledge that can be derived from the study of the Vedas and different kinds of philosophy. It is the most confidential because confidential or transcendental knowledge involves understanding the difference between the soul and the body. And the king of all confidential knowledge culminates in devotional service. Generally, people are not educated in this confidential knowledge. They are educated in external knowledge. As far as ordinary education is concerned, people are involved with so many departments. Politics, sociology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, engineering, Facebook, Instagram. Right? There are so many more of them are not mentioned here, but we are all expert in those so-called fields. There are so many more departments of knowledge all over the world and many huge universities. But there is unfortunately no university or educational institution where the science of the spirit soul is instructed except our society, right? ISKCON. So now at least we can say yes, Srila Prabhupada has given one such institution where the science of the soul is being taught. Yet, the soul is the most important part of the body. Without the presence of the soul, the body has no value. Still, people are placing great stress on the bodily necessity of life, not caring for the vital soul. The Bhagavad Gita, especially from the 2nd chapter on, stresses the importance of the soul. In the very beginning, the Lord says that this body is perishable and that the soul is not perishable. Antavanta ime deha nitya shokta sharirina. Then what is the remaining part? Anashino aprameyasya tasmad yuddhasva bharata. Okay, so Harinavan is here, so the class will be live. It is guaranteed. That is a confidential part of knowledge. Simply knowing that the spirit soul is different from this body and that its nature is immutable, indestructible and eternal. but that gives no positive information about the soul. Sometimes people are under the impression that the soul is different from the body, and then when the body is finished or one is liberated from the body, the soul remains in a void and becomes impersonal. But actually, that is not the fact. How can the soul, which is so active within this body, be inactive after being liberated from the body? Right? We think this is a nonsense theory, right? But believe it or not, majority of the people, even in India, believes this. Like most scientists still today, they believe that Big Bang created all of us. You know, right? It's so illogical, so much kind of a, even a kind of a, a kindergarten child wouldn't say, a pre-KG child wouldn't dare to say that, but they say that. And same thing, how come the soul all of a sudden becomes inactive? Right? It is always active. If it is eternal, then it is eternally active. Right? On one hand, we are saying it's eternal. On the other hand, right away we reject the idea. The moment it leaves the body, soul becomes inactive. And believe it, this is the major part of the so-called spiritualists. Forget about the people who do not believe in the spirituality. What to speak about, what to think about them. I mean, thanks to Srila Prabhupada, and we are coming from the same group, same thing. These activities of the spirit soul are therefore indicated here as constituting the king of knowledge, the most confidential part of all knowledge. This knowledge is the purest form of all activities. As explained in Vedic literature in the Padma Purana, man's sinful activities have been analyzed and are shown to be. Okay, so now I think we will talk about the first part, Raja Vidya and the Raja Guhyam. Then we'll come with the Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Right? So, Raja Vidya and Raja Guhyam. Srila Prabhupada talked about different kinds of knowledge. Knowledge of spirit and matter, right? That's the preliminary. I am the spirit soul. Knowledge of Paramatma, that's the kind of a Guhyatar. And the knowledge of Bhakti, we can say that's also Guhyatar. But the most confidential knowledge is the Bhakti. And even among the Bhakti, there is something which much more superior. Knowledge about the karma, jnana, yoga is also very preliminary, and we can say it's a guhya or guhyatar, right? So knowledge of bhakti is the king of knowledge. I mean, that's what we understand from that. And there are many different kinds of bhakti. We can know that, right? Sakam bhakti, we are doing bhakti for some fruits we want to get out of the distress. Karma Mishra Bhakti, we are doing the karma and offering it to Krishna. Jnana Mishra Bhakti, we are worshipping, Krishna through the knowledge. And Yoga Mishra Bhakti is the yoga is involved, and we are doing the bhakti. In all these forms of the bhakti is still predominated, but it is mixed with the jnana, karma or yoga, right? So, which is the superior of all kinds of bhakti? So now we have to follow the same rule also, that each person can answer only one time. He has already answered 3 times. So before we take him, we get the escorts, okay? Okay, which is the superior of all kinds of bhakti? As I said, you guys would be giving this class by helping me answer. So please help me, Prabhus. Ananta. Okay, who is going to tell that? What is the superior of all bhakti? Yes, very nice. Right, very nice. So it is not part of this bhakti. Where is the Ananya Bhakti is first time described in Bhagavad Gita? Where? First time. Ananyashchintayanto mam ye jana pariyupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyam. And that is which verse? 9.22. So that means before chapter 9.22, there is no Ananya Bhakti described. And what is the meaning of that? Ananyas Chintayanto Ma Ye Jana Paryupasate. Those devotees who always think about me, I actually fulfill whatever they have. And I'm sorry, not Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, but that's the meaning of that verse. Ananyas Chintayanto Ma Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam. I'm always connected to them and I always fulfill whatever they have. And but those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Now, who said that this 922 is the first time mentioned as the Ananya Bhakti? Who mentioned that? Ask the audience. That wasn't the rule. I think somebody was supposed to say that, right? That's why I read that. It wasn't the ask the audience. Yes, Prabhu. What's your name, Prabhu? Abhinay Prabhu. Okay. So Abhinav Prabhu thinks this is the first time in Bhagavad Gita Ananya Bhakti is mentioned. If there is anyone else has any other opinion, okay. It's again Harinamanand. Go ahead.
There is a few times. I think one I remember is 8th chapter, Ananya Cheta Sapitam Yoman.
Okay. So we have to say, okay, that is where also, over there also. Okay. 8th chapter, which verse?
Don't remember verse number. 26.
8.40. The verse that you are talking about is 8.40. Okay, we can all sing together. Ananya Cheta Satatam Yo Mam Swarati Nityasha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nityayuktasya Yogina. Very nice. So, Ananya Cheta Satatam. Here is also mentioned about the Ananya Bhakti. What is the meaning of this? For one who always remembers me without deviation and easy to obtain, O son of Prutha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Okay. Is there any other verse before this verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is saying about Ananya? Anything in chapter 7? 7.16. Okay. I mean, Hriday, very good. Now tell me, what is the 7.16 verses? Tell me the translation. Okay. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukrutinurjuna ardo jignasarartharthi jnani cha varatarshava. Okay, very nice, Hriday. So tell me, where is there about the Ananya over here? You are such a pure devotee, so you're thinking all of these are over the course of the time they will become the Ananya devotees, right? That's what it means actually. And actually, Jnani is over here. Krishna says that Eka Bhaktar Vishishate. In the next verse, Priyo hi Jnanino Atyartham Aham Sacha Mama Priya. So but let's first read the translation. Who based among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. In the following verse, Krishna talks about the Jnani Bhakta, and Jnani Bhakta is very dear, and so to say, you can say it's a rare also. It's a Eka Bhakti Vishishate. In that way, you can say that yes, Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhakti Vishishate Priyo hi Jnanino Atyartham Aham Sacha Mama Priya. So, you are right. This is the Jnani Bhakta is being taught. Then you can say he is of this, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional services is the best, for I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. Anything else? There is a verse in the 790. that Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. You know, that is the that when we can say it is exclusivity also, right? So that Bahuna Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So here there is the exclusivity. Only Vasudev, Lord Vasudev is all everything, and that such a Mahatma is Durlabh. After many births and death, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes, and all that is such a great soul is very rare. Okay, so let's go back to our current verse. So of course the Ananya Bhakti is the topmost. I think the verse number we have about the Ananya means unalloyed 8.14, 7.19, and then after in the chapter 9 also we have 13, 14 and 22. These are all the verses is about the Ananya Bhakti. Now, why it is so difficult to achieve and what is so great about it? Why Ananya Bhakti is so difficult to achieve? And what is so great about it? Right? Who will answer me? Why Ananya Bhakti is so great? Why? Yes, Prabhu. What's your name?
Abhikam.
Abhikam.
Abhikam, yeah.
Very nice. Please tell me.
Because it's very pure and you're doing it without any, either any selfish motives, either for yourself or the rest of the world, anyone, whether your family or the rest of the world.
Yeah. Ahetuki apratihata. Yeah, Atma suprasidati. Yes, Prabhu. Very right. Yes. Yes. Sudesh Prabhu.
Yeah, Ananya Bhakti, with that Bhakti alone, you can reach to Golo. Whereas if you do other Bhakti and other demigods of Bhakti, then you remain in samsara.
Okay, so Ananya Bhakti takes us to the highest abode. Yes, Mataji, you want to say something?
I think you can immerse closer to God than doing other things. By doing Ananya Bhakti, you can become more closer.
Yes, Ananya Bhakti is it takes you to the closest possible to the Lord, right? All of these things are true. I would certainly say yes. All of these things is definitely true. The Ananya Bhakti is it actually conquers the unconquerable. Yes, Madhendra Puri. Yes, there is nothing that can buy Krishna. There's a price tag for everything, but there's no way you can buy Krishna. And what to speak of conquer Krishna? The Ananya Bhakti has the ability to conquer the Krishna. It actually that like a supreme Lord becomes your subordinate. That is the and that's why Krishna. That's why it's so difficult to achieve, because who would like to be conquered by anybody else, right? So Krishna never gives the Ananya Bhakti, right? Krishna would say no. Only when he is completely helpless, then actually it becomes available to us. But it conquers the Krishna. Ajita Yepi, like Lord Brahma is saying in his prayer. We don't have much time, so we will not read that, or we can just read the meaning of that. In the prayers by Lord Brahma in the 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 3. Actually, I made a mistake. Yes, 10.14.2, 14.3. So we'll read just the meaning of that, or we can all sing together. Okay, let's read the meaning only. Because those who even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge and with their body, words, and mind, offer all respects to description of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, right, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, meaning Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. With body, words, and mind, they are all the time busy chanting, praying, and paying you obeisances and dedicating their lives to the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So, yes, this verse is about the Ananya Bhakti. That's the most confidential knowledge. And it is so, Krishna is actually very emotional. Acharyas say that while speaking this verse, like counseling a friend. How many of we have gone through that? Either being counseled or counseling, right? It's a very personal thing. Krishna is very emotional. He's actually right now so much more emotional because this verse involves about his dearmost. This topic involves about his dearmost devotees. Who does all the time? Satatam kirtayanto. Govinda Ramo Naramadaveti. Who does that? So Krishna is thinking about them. Even while sitting on the battlefield, he is very emotional and he is speaking this this chapter with that mood. So let's go to the next one. Now, Raja Vidya and Raja Guhyam has a different perspective also, right? The knowledge, the king of knowledge and king of confidentiality. But this is the knowledge of kings also, right? Raj Vidya could be taken the other way around also. Knowledge of kings. Now tell me, who are the real kings of this world? Who has an answer now? This time we have quite a bit turn around, like so many. Okay, Prabhuji, please. Jai Dhananjay Prabhu, please.
The king of the world is the one who has the bank balance of the maximum bank balance of the Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Okay, but that is, we are talking about the Vaikuntha. Those people who are constantly immersed chanting Harinam, they don't belong to this world. Of course, I agree with you and everybody will agree with you. I'm talking about this world. Not this world, the world outside the world. This world, you are right. I'm talking about, I come from outside, so I'm talking about the outside world. Who are the real kings of this world? Whosoever will answer this question, we get the $100.
Is it materialistic world?
Yes.
Politicians, people who have money and power.
Yes.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Who has knowledge?
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. Abhi kam Prabhu.
Yeah. Kings and monarchs.
Okay. So now let me change. Who is your king? Let's think about who is dictating your business. Huh?
Your senses. Your
Huh?
senses.
Yes. Yes. Okay. The real kings are the senses. If you differ with me, let me know, please. Right? In this world, the real king are the world. Now, who conquers the kings of this world is actually the real king. Right? Who is the real king? Who has controlled the senses. This is the knowledge of those kings who actually have conquered their mind and senses. Right? So that's the Goswamis. They are the real kings. Right? This is their knowledge. And in other words, this is you are all. This is anyone who has the kind of intense affinity, love for this, they are actually all on that platform. So what is the most important knowledge of a king? What is the most important knowledge of a king? Suppose you are made someday king, what would be your most important asset? Yeah, that is there, that's why you became the king. But your wisdom is the king, right? You should know who to employ, who to get, who to call, right? Yes, Prabhu, I'm sorry. I I didn't give you a chance, but if you have something else to tell.
Spiritual knowledge is the most.
Yes, the knowledge, the wisdom is the most important thing, right? Wisdom, and so Raj Guhyam means, so that is the kind of this knowledge is the people who really has the sense control, mind control, who has the wisdom, and this is Raj Guhyam means it is not even found in the scriptures ordinarily. Vedas don't speak about this. The Ananya Bhakti, is not, we can't find in the Vedas. Anywhere, the Upanishad and all the Shastras, it is very hidden. And it is like a Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the scriptures. And even among the Bhagavad Gita, it is in the middle. And even like in chapter 9 and 10, that's even in the middle. So that's the Raj Guhyam. Okay. Now let's read the remaining part of the purport. So, okay, 9.2. Okay. This knowledge is the purest form of all activities. As explained in Vedic literature, in the Padma Purana, man's sinful activities have been analyzed and are shown to be the results of sin after sin. Right? Those who are engaged in fruitive activities are entangled in different stages and forms of sinful reactions. For instance, when the seed of a particular tree is sown, the tree does not appear immediately to grow. It takes some time. It is first a small, sprouting plant, then it assumes the form of a tree, then it flowers and bears fruits, and when it is complete, the flowers and fruits are enjoyed by persons who have sown the seed of the tree. Right? We don't want to, right? Similarly, a man performs a sinful act, and like I said, it takes time to fructify. There are different stages. The sinful action may have already stopped within the individual, but the results or the fruits of that sinful action are still to be enjoyed. There are sins which are still in the form of a seed. There are others which are already fructified and are giving us fruit, which we are enjoying as distress and pain. As explained in the 28th verse of the 7th chapter, which is that verse. Okay, Hriday, or who's going to say that? 28th verse of the 7th chapter. A person who has completely ended the reactions. Te yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dradavrita. Sorry, I'm picking up you guys because they are the one so on front sitting me, so sorry. But I know that they know it, and I'm so happy that at this young age they are sitting in every class. So persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. So, in other words, those who are currently engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord are already freed from all reactions. Wow, this is so much to be highlighted, right? It belongs to all of us. Whatsoever we are trying to be engaged. This statement is all confirmed in the Padma Purana also. Aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukham karmeniva pradiyeta Vishnu bhakti ratmana. For those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all sinful reactions, whether fructified in the stalk or in the form of a seed, gradually vanished. Therefore, the purifying potency of devotional service is very strong. And it is called Pavitram, Uttamam, the purest. Uttamam means transcendental. Tamas means this material world or darkness, and Uttamam means that which is transcendental to material activities. Shri Radha Syam Sundar. And what is the name of the book? Nimai Nitai. And Shri Prabhupada and all the Acharyas ki jai. Thank you so much. Devotional activities are never to be considered material, although sometimes it appears that devotees are engaged just like ordinary men. One who can see and is familiar with devotional service will know that they are not material activities, they are all spiritual and devotional, uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. For the sake of the time, we just finish the purport and then we'll go back to the slides. It is said that the execution of devotional service is so perfect that one can perceive the results directly. This direct result is actually perceived, and we have practical experience that any person who is chanting the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In course of chanting without offenses, feels some transcendental pleasure and very quickly becomes purified of all material contamination. This is actually sin. Furthermore, if one engages not only in hearing, but in trying to broadcast the message of devotional activities as well, or if he engages himself in helping the missionary activities of Krishna consciousness, he gradually feels spiritual progress. This advancement in spiritual life does not depend on any kind of previous education or qualification. The method itself is so pure that by simply engaging in it, one becomes pure. This purport is so much filled with the gems. Each of the sentences, they are so much in kind of for us to meditate and ponder and realize. In the Vedanta Sutra, this is also described in the following words: Prakashascha karmani abhyasa. Devotional service is so potent that simply by engaging in the activities of devotional service, one becomes enlightened without a doubt. A practical example of this can be seen in the previous life of Srila Narada Muni, who in that life happened to be the son of a maid servant. He had no education, nor was he born into a high family. But when his mother was engaged in serving great devotees, Narada also became engaged, and sometimes, in the absence of his mother, he would serve the great devotees himself. Narada Muni personally says, and I will just read the translation. Srila Narada Muni describes his previous life to his disciple Vyasadeva. He says that while engaged as a boy servant for those purified devotees during the 4 months of their stay, he was intimately associating with them. Sometimes those stages left remnants of food and the dishes, and the boy who would wash their dishes wanted to taste the remnant. So he asked the great devotees for their permission, and when they gave it, Narada ate those remnants and constantly became freed from all simple reactions. So we have to ask the permission. You don't have to go and fight around with that, right? So that's always very, very pleasing, right? When the devotees do that. So as he went on eating, he gradually became as pure-hearted as the sages. The great devotees relished the taste of unceasing devotional service to the Lord by hearing and chanting, and Narada gradually developed the same taste. Narada says further, by associating with the sages, Narada got the taste for hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, and he developed a great desire for devotional service. Therefore, as described in the Vedanta Sutra, Prakashascha karmani abhyasa, if one is engaged simply in the acts of devotional service, everything is revealed to him automatically. And he can understand. This is called pratyaksha, directly perceived. The word dharmyam means the path of religion. Narada was actually a son of a maid servant. He had no opportunity to go to school. He was simply assisting his mother, and fortunately his mother rendered some service to the devotees. The child Narada also got the opportunity and simply by association achieved the highest goal of all religion. The highest goal of all religion is devotional service, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Save pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radoksaje ave dukiya pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Religious people generally do not know that the highest perfection of religious is the attainment of devotional service, as we have already discussed in regard to the last verse of chapter 8. Vedeshu yajneshu tapasu cheva daneshu yatmo nyaphalam pradishtam